As the pandemic continues to take a toll on the aviation sector, the International Air Transport Association predicts airlines across Africa will lose $6 billion in passenger revenue in 2020. Ethiopian Airlines, the state-owned jewel of the national economy and a vital source of foreign currency, says it is facing a revenue loss of $550 million from January to April alone.
If you put yourself on my shoes, the only way for Ethiopian Airlines is to expand or refocus its resources, energy and time on businesses which are not affected by coronavirus.
Africa's largest air carrier is now turning into a cargo service to partially offset heavy losses it has incurred amid the pandemic. But there are fears this may not be enough.
To answer your question, will we be able to sustain with only 15% of our revenue, because cargo constitutes only 15% of revenue? For a short period of time, yes. But for how long? Very difficult to predict. All kinds of problems that Africa has suffered, we have always stood with Africa. We have never abandoned Africa in bad times.
Ethiopian Airlines isn't the only African carrier affected by the pandemic. After operating for over 5 decades, Air Mauritius announced it has entered voluntary administration. This after the company said coronavirus-related disruptions made it impossible for it to meet its financial obligations. Air Namibia says cash flow problems have forced it to delay the payment of 700 workers' salaries. And there's more doom for African countries as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. South Africa has lost over 14 million passengers, resulting in about $3 billion revenue. IATA says more than 250,000 jobs are at risk. Here in Nigeria, there are about 4.7 million fewer passengers, resulting in nearly $1 billion revenue loss, risking more than 120,000 jobs. In East Africa, Ethiopia is losing 2.5 million fewer passengers, resulting in 430 million revenue loss, risking about 500,500 jobs. And Kenya is expected to have 3.5 million fewer passengers, resulting in a $730 million revenue loss, risking over 193,000 jobs. To reduce the impact of coronavirus on jobs and African economies, IATA is urging governments to support airlines through direct financial means, including tax relief, loans, and backing for the corporate bond market, because, much like many industries, there are gloomy skies ahead for aviation. Lilian Jijingi, Arise News.